Today we will solve this exercise in which we need to determine the formula of a quadratic function. The quadratic function f has exactly 1, 0 root equal to 2. Additionally, f of 0 equals 8. Determine the formula of the function f. There are two ways to do it. First, we can use a vertex formula. So please take a look. What is vertex formula? Okay. We have a general formula of a function, and we have vertex formula of a function. Okay, general is like that: ax square plus b plus bx plus c, right, equals y. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This is a standard equation, standard formula of a quadratic function. We also have a vertex formula which gives us information about vertex. If y equals a x minus p squared plus q. Okay, and first we'll use this method, and this is called vertex because it tells us information about the vertex. You know, when you have a parabola, for example, this top point, whether it's facing upward or backward, well, inwards or downwards, whether the parabola facing inward or downwards, so the highest point or the lowest point. In this case, the lowest point, this is the vertex here, this point. So P is value of x, Q is value of y. So when you have this coordinates, so for example, -2, 3, this -2 is value of x, 3 is value of y. So let's see if we can use this information. So first of all, we need to observe that it has only one root. You know that most of the cases it has two roots. Quadratic equation has two roots, but that is only when delta or discriminant is greater than 0. So we already know that if it has only one root, it means that in our case delta equals 0. Discriminant equals 0, and later we can create this equation. But for now we're focusing on vertex formula, which is very important to know that when we draw parabola, okay, let's draw coordinates system of Cartesian system of coordinates with x-axis and y-axis. We can see that this is the truth, that if delta equals 0, it has 1. We know that value of y equals 0, right? When x is 2. So this is 1 here, this is 2. So we know that it's something like that. We can draw it. We know that x is 2. We know that x is 2 because we know that x is 2 because y equals 0. So for one solution, when we have only one 0 root, this root is part of the vertex, and we know that P is x value in vertex. So this is the information we can deduce from here. Okay, let me clean it up. So we can rewrite this like this: y equals a x minus 2 squared plus q. So we know that this vertex has x equals 2, here is 2, and it has q equals 0, because q is the value of y. So it's x and y. This is our x comma y. This is our value of the vertex, the coordinates of the vertex, which we see here. So one more time, just try to understand. They say that it has a 0 root equal to 2. So it's the place 1 0 root. This called that it has 1 0, because normally solution of the a quadratic equation is the place where x intercepts y-axis with the value of 0. So x can have different value, but y will be always 0 if as a solution for quadratic equation. So here we see this one. So if we know this, we already know the coordinates of the vertex. So you know that 2 must be x, because you know if x is 2, y is 0. And you know that in quadratic equations, which only one solution, 0 root is also vertex. And this assumption helps us find the formula. So if we know that q equals 0, because y here, y is 0, we can erase it. Yeah, we don't need q. So our equation is almost ready. We only need to know what is y. So not y, a. What is a? We already know that x minus 2 squared, y equals ax minus 2 squared. But what is a? So in order to find a, we can establish equation, because y equals 8 here. We know that f of 0 equals 8. So f of x, you know, when you see f, we say f of x, which means f of 0. 0 means x is 0. If x equals 0, then y equals 8. So we can set up an equation. 8 equals a. Here we write 0, because x 0 represents x. So instead of x, we can write 0. 0 minus 2 squared. And this equation will tell you, it will tell you what is a. So first you need to multiply everything. I mean, you square it first. Yeah, of course, 0 squared is 0, so we only leave 8 equals a times 4. Because minus 2 squared is 4. So we got negative changes to positive. So we see 4a equals a, which we divided by 4. Divided by 4, you clearly can see that a equals 2. We got our solution. So instead of a, we can write it like that. Y equals 2 x minus 2 squared. Okay, and we already got our solution to this. This is our general formula. Instead of a, we write 2. So y equals 2 x minus 2 squared. And we use mathematical modeling to find the solution by knowing the vertex form of the quadratic equation. Now we solve it the same problem using general formula. This one, ax squared plus bx plus c. How to do it? We can also solve it. Okay, and so one more time, this is general formula, general format, general formula of a quadratic equation. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So we know that delta equals 0, and we know that uh, because it has only one solution, one root, and we know that p equals minus b divided by 2a. You know it, and a q equals, these are coordinates of a vertex, minus delta divided by 4a. So you see, we can know p and q not only from vertex formula, but also from general formula. If we apply uh, these formulas, p stands for value of x for the vertex, q stands for value of y in the vertex. So we can use this. We can use this to guess what is the value of a. We can extract it. Since we know that p equals 2, so we can write 2. Yeah, 2 is the value of x, like I said. 2 equals minus b divided by 2a. So what do we know from here? Okay, let me erase the part. So after you multiply times 2, 2a, to get rid of 2a from the denominator, you will know that 4a equals minus b. Alright? So what else can we find out here? We know that b equals minus 4a if we change the form. And we also see here that we can also observe that b is 4 times bigger than a. And we also know that delta equals 0, so we can write that b squared, because delta equals b squared minus 4ac. And again, we can substitute b with 4a. So we'll create an equation and see where it will take us. So we can write that 0 equals 4a b squared. So b squared is the same as minus 4 squared. Minus 4 squared, so we can minus 4 a squared minus 4ac. So we already have a kind of a quadratic equation here. We can solve this quadratic equation to find what is a. So we see that 16 a squared, 4a squared, if we square 4 it will be 16, so on a we keep it, 16a squared minus 4ac equals 0. It would be good to know what is c, right? So if you don't know what is c, you will struggle solving this quadratic equation. So you need to know that actually C equals 8. C equals 8 because f of 0. So when x equals 0, y equals 8. That is very important to know in order to solve this. In order to solve this equation, because without it will be difficult. And we know from knowledge about the quadratic equation that c is the value of y when the x equals 0. So when the x equals 0, value of y is c. Okay, so instead of c we can write here 8 for 8 times 8. So I'm going to remove c, and then of c, instead of c I will write 8. And now we are very close to solution. Okay, so we just write 16a squared minus 32 because 8 times 4 is 32 minus 32a equals 0. So what can we do here? We can divide everything by 16. So you will have a squared minus 2a equals 0. So now we have this form of equation. We can solve it by factoring. So we move a before the bracket to get rid of square, and we have a times a minus 2 in brackets equals 0, and the solution is a equals 0 or a equals 2, and we choose a equals 2 because the general formula of the equation is a y equals ax plus bx plus c, and it wouldn't make sense if a is 0 because then x would become 0. That's why only this one makes sense. And now we already know that it will be 2 y equals 2x because we counted that we calculated that a from this equation we set up before, we calculated that a equals 2, so we can write that a equals that y equals 2x squared plus bx plus 8. We remember that c is 8, so this is the only last thing we need to fill it up. We remember that p equals minus b divided by 2a, and we counted that we calculated that p was 2, therefore b equals minus 4a. b equals minus 4a, so a is 2, so 2 times minus 4 equals minus 8. So now we can remove, so we know that b equals minus 8, we can remove this part because we know what is b. So we write plus, not plus because it's minus 8, so it will be minus 8x plus 8. And this is the solution. A little long, but we found it also another method to know the general formula, okay? So that's how we solve it. Y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 8. Exactly the same as vertex formula, which was y equals 2x minus 2 squared. So if you multiply everything, you will get 4. You will have x squared minus 4x plus 4. Right, that's how we develop this binomial, to expand the binomial. And then you write 2 before brackets. So you multiply everything by 2, so you get 2x squared minus 2 times 4, 8x plus 8. You will get exactly the same what you got in vertex form. Okay, so both solutions are valid. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.